3 days later, the scandal broke. The first customers with the necklaces complained furiously on social media. What kind of garbage original intention is this? My neck got allergic and swollen after wearing it for just 1 day. This isn't platinum at all. I took it for testing and it's just a worthless alloy. This is suspected fraud. The diamond on it must be fake too. It fell off with just a light touch. As more and more quality inspection reports were posted online, topics like Xiaoheng company selling counterfeits and Zhangyue design flaws quickly surged to the top of the trending searches. The Consumer Association intervened to investigate, and the Market Supervision Bureau sealed their warehouse overnight. I sat in my bright, spacious, and luxurious office, watching Zhao Heng's ashen face as he faced the law enforcement officers on the live news broadcast. Mr. Lin, my assistant Xiaoya knocked and entered, handing me a document. Zhao Heng's PR department is trying to contact us, wanting you to step forward and help clarify things, claiming that the raw material procurement was signed by you before you resigned. I scoffed. He's still trying to shift the blame onto me even now. I took the document and threw it straight into the shredder. Tell them I'm busy preparing for the Phoenix series launch event and don't have time to play along with their charade. Also, send the email record we found where he signed off on the raw material change to the media. That night, Zhao Heng's office building was completely surrounded by angry consumers demanding refunds. Someone filmed Zhang Yue trying to sneak away, only to be recognized by several customers seeking redress, who pelted her with countless rotten eggs. His so-called Muse bracelet, which he was so proud of, was torn off in the shoving match, scattering everywhere and getting trampled into the mud, just like his fake talent, shattering at the slightest touch. The scandal surrounding the Original Intent series became the final straw that broke Zhao Heng. Facing massive consumer compensation claims and administrative fines, his cash flow completely collapsed. I heard that the collection calls from the loan sharks have already reached his parents' home, forcing the elderly couple to not even dare to return home. As for me, with the support of the brilliant group, I officially launched my comeback debut, the Nirvana Phoenix series. The launch event was set at the city's most high-end art center, with dazzling lights and a gathering of celebrities. When the necklace, featuring a ruby as the main stone and symbolizing rebirth from the ashes, lit up on the big screen, the entire venue erupted in thunderous applause. No shadow of plagiarism, no frustration of being tampered with. This is the stage that truly belongs to me. After the press conference ended, I received a text message from Xiaoya, the assistant who had previously jumped ship with me. Sister Lin, Zhao Heng contacted me privately. He offered triple the salary and a position as vice president of the company, wanting me to leak your discarded drafts or the design direction for the next quarter to him. Looking at the screen, I wasn't surprised. Desperate, Zhao Heng has gone mad. He urgently needs a stunning product to turn things around and prove to the investors that he still has value. And since Zhang Yue is already finished, he has no choice but to set his sights on me again. Agree to him, I replied. Xiaoya sent a surprised emoji. Sister Lin, since he wants my design so much, let's grant his wish. I opened my computer and pulled out a long-forgotten design draft from a folder labeled Discarded. It was a practice piece from my college days, titled Caged Bird. The design was incredibly ornate and complex, using countless gold threads woven into an exquisite cage with a gemstone locked inside. At first glance, it looked like a visually stunning masterpiece, but in reality, it was a dead end that could never be mass-produced because its structural mechanics had a fatal flaw. The threads would generate immense internal stress during the casting and cooling process. Without extremely specialized treatment, the finished product would shatter like glass upon the slightest vibration. More importantly, the core design patent for this appearance was registered by me 5 years ago under a niche, independent overseas brand. That brand is a shell company I use to house experimental works like this one. I made some minor adjustments to the blueprints to make it look more like a sister piece to the Phoenix series and then sent it to Xiaoya. Give this to him and tell him it's my secret weapon for next season's main lineup and that I haven't had a chance to register the patent yet. Understood, Xiaoya replied. Sister Lin, that's a ruthless move. There's no need for mercy with someone like him. I closed my laptop and looked out at the night view. Zhao Heng, I've already sent over the coffin lid I prepared for you. You can climb in yourself. As expected, Zhao Heng treated it like a precious treasure. Xiaoya came back and told me that Zhao Heng's hands were shaking when he received the blueprints. He needed this comeback victory too badly. He didn't even suspect why it was so easy to get the blueprints. Because in his arrogant subconscious, he felt that Xiaoya was just a money-grubbing assistant and that my designs rightfully belonged to him. In order to seize the market and recoup funds before his usurious loans came due, Zhao Heng went all in. He mortgaged his parents' assets and borrowed a high-interest bridge loan from an underground bank, pouring everything into the production of this new product he renamed Canary. He didn't just want to produce it, he wanted to produce it with great fanfare. He even had Zhang Yue step back into the spotlight, crying on a live stream about how the previous Original Intent series was sabotaged by suppliers and that this Canary series was his true masterpiece, born of his blood and sweat, and a tribute to love. Watching Zhang Yue on the live stream, with her tear-streaked face pretending to be strong, I just found it laughable. Blood and sweat? He couldn't even tell that the density ratio of the gold threads in that design drawing was the golden ratio. During production, I heard that the master craftsman at the factory reported to Zhao Heng that this structure was extremely difficult to cast, had a very low yield rate, and was prone to breaking. But Zhao Heng, already blinded by greed, wouldn't listen at all. He berated the master craftsmen for their lack of skill, and in order to rush the schedule, even forced them to simplify the cooling process. This played right into my hands. Even without that special treatment, it would have shattered. Now that the process has been simplified, it's guaranteed to shatter. Half a month later, Zhao Heng's Canary series was launched with great fanfare. He was in high spirits at the launch event, as if he could already see money raining down, as if he had already trampled me and Kui Chan under his feet. This piece represents the pinnacle of craftsmanship and aesthetics. Zhao Heng held up that magnificent necklace and spoke eloquently to the cameras. However, just as he finished the presentation and was about to fasten the necklace onto the specially invited model for the runway show, an accident occurred. The moment the clasp was fastened, with a soft click, under the intense heat of the spotlights and a slight external force, the exquisitely woven golden cage shattered without warning. The shattered metal fragments flew out like shrapnel, one of which sharply grazed the edge of the model's carotid artery, causing blood to gush out instantly and stain her pristine white gown. The model screamed and collapsed to the ground while terrified screams erupted throughout the venue, and the live stream's comment section exploded instantly. Zhao Heng stood frozen on the stage, still holding the remaining half of the necklace as if turned to stone. As for me, I sat in the first row of the guest seating, slowly taking off my sunglasses, watching the chaotic scene unfold on stage. I didn't get up, I simply took out my phone and dialed the number I had prepared long ago. Hello, is this the Administration for Market Regulation and the Copyright Bureau? I would like to file a formal report against Zhao Heng's company. Their new product, Canary, not only has serious quality and safety hazards but is also suspected of infringing on the patent rights of the renowned overseas designer, LS. After hanging up the phone, I looked at Zhao Heng, who was staring at me in a panic on stage, and flashed a brilliant smile. Checkmate. The press conference descended into chaos, with the sirens of ambulances and police cars intertwining, shattering what was supposed to be Zhao Heng's moment of glory. The injured model was rushed to the hospital. Although her life was not in danger, that scar was enough to ruin her career. Zhao Heng slumped to the ground, clutching the broken half of the necklace tightly in his hand, muttering to himself, "Impossible, how could this be?" Zhang Yue was so terrified that she hid backstage, not even daring to show her face. The next day, an overwhelming wave of negative news swept in. Topics like Zhao Heng's company new product causes injury, high deadly canary, and high inferior jewelry causes disfigurement dominated all the trending search lists. This was no longer a simple case of commercial fraud, but a criminal case involving personal injury. At the same time, my transnational infringement lawsuit notice was also precisely delivered. Because the canary not only completely plagiarized my overseas patent for the bird, but also caused serious consequences, the court directly accepted the case and initiated a more stringent asset liquidation procedure. Zhao Heng tried to confront Xiaoya, wanting to drag her down with him, claiming that Xiaoya had stolen the blueprints for him, but he forgot that when Xiaoya sent him the blueprints, she used encrypted emails and kept a record of the entire chat history. In the chat history, Xiaoya explicitly warned him, "Mr. Zhao, this blueprint hasn't been tested for stability yet." Sister Lin said, "This is just a conceptual draft and cannot be used commercially." It was Zhao Heng himself who, in his eagerness for quick success, replied, "Stop the nonsense. I've looked at it and there's no problem. This is what I want, and I'll take responsibility if anything goes wrong." These few replies became the final nail that nailed him to the pillar of shame. In court, faced with irrefutable evidence, Zhao Heng looked ashen. Because of the charges of producing and selling counterfeit products, infringing on trade secrets, and causing major personal injury, he was facing not only huge compensation but also imprisonment. And that high-interest loan that was due became the final boulder that broke the camel's back. Those loan sharks didn't care whether he was in jail or not. They went straight to Zhao Heng's parents' home, and even tracked down Zhang Yue's residence. It is said that Zhang Yue was cornered in an alley by several burly men and was so terrified that she lost control of her bladder on the spot, crying and screaming that she had nothing to do with Zhao Heng, and even handed over everything in her name that Zhao Heng had given her. The girl who once bragged on social media about being Mr. Z's only muse now wishes she could completely erase the name Mr. Z from her life. A month later, Zhao Heng's company officially announced bankruptcy liquidation. The once glorious rising star in the jewelry industry has now become a pariah that everyone wants to beat up. As one of the primary creditors, I attended the final creditors meeting. The air pressure in the conference room was suffocatingly low. Zhao Heng was handcuffed and wearing the grey vest of a detention center. He had lost a significant amount of weight, his eye sockets were sunken, his cheekbones were prominent, and he was unshaven. There was no trace left of the spirited, confident Mr. Zhao who used to command the room. Seeing me walk in, his previously dull and lifeless eyes suddenly lit up. He excitedly tried to stand up, causing his chair to scrape harshly against the floor, but he was immediately pressed back down by the prison guard behind him. "Ashu, Ashu, please save me," he shouted with a hoarse throat, his voice sounding like it had been rubbed against sandpaper. "I know you still care about our past, don't you? As long as you are willing to drop the charges, as long as you are willing to help me pay back a portion of the money, I still have a chance. I love you, I really do love you." I sat across from him, elegantly flipping through the list of assets in my hand, without even lifting my eyelids. "Love me?" I chuckled softly and finally looked up at him, my eyes filled with mockery. "Zhao Heng, you're still acting at a time like this. The only person you've ever loved is yourself, and your pathetic vanity." "No, that's not it. It was that bitch Zhang Yue who seduced me, it was her." Zhao Heng eagerly shifted the blame, his face twisted like a demon. She said she was pregnant and forced me to do it. If she hadn't kept whispering in my ear, how would I have betrayed you? That woman is a jinx, she's ruined my whole life. Just then the conference room door was pushed open again and Zhang Yue was brought in as well. Because she was suspected of assisting in the transfer of illegal assets and perjury, she also could not escape the sanctions of the law. At this moment her hair was disheveled, her complexion sallow, and she no longer had her usual exquisite makeup. Hearing Zhao Heng's words, Zhang Yue screamed like a mad woman. Zhao Heng, you bastard, are you even a man? It was clearly your own greed. You were the one who forced me to use Sister Lin's designs. You said that as long as we did this, we could get rich and trample Sister Lin under our feet. Now that things have gone wrong, you're blaming it all on me. Shut up. If it weren't for your vanity, insisting on that chief designer title, and if it weren't for your need to buy all those luxury goods, would I have ended up in this position? It's because you're incompetent. Without Sister Lin, you're just a loser. I shouldn't have believed your nonsense. It's because you're incompetent. Without Sister Lin, you're just a loser. I shouldn't have believed your nonsense. The two people who were once seen on surveillance cameras, affectionately entwined and vowing eternal love, were now tearing at each other like two mad dogs, shifting blame, their ugliness fully exposed. Watching this scene, I found it incredibly ironic. This is what they call true love. In the face of self-interest and disaster, it's not even worth as much as a used piece of toilet paper. Enough. I impatiently tapped on the table, interrupting this nauseating farce. Zhao Heng, Zhang Yue, you can spend the rest of your lives in prison slowly reminiscing about your love. I stood up, straightened my clothes, and turned to the head of the bankruptcy liquidation team beside me. As the largest creditor, I agree with the current liquidation plan. As for the company's remaining usable equipment, raw material inventory, and some valid patents, I will acquire them in the name of the Brilliant Group at 70% of the appraised value. Zhao Heng was stunned, then his eyes widened as if he had heard something unbelievable. You want to acquire my company? You want to swallow me up? No. I looked down at him from above, my eyes as cold as ice. I'm not here to swallow you up, I'm here to take back what belongs to me. This company was built on my designs from the very beginning, every brick and tile of it is soaked with my hard work. Now I am simply changing its name back to what it should have been. Take them away. I waved my hand. Behind me, Zhao Heng's desperate wails and Zhang Yue's curses echoed, growing fainter and fainter until they completely vanished at the end of the corridor. I stood in the empty conference room and took a deep breath. The suffocating smell was finally gone from the air. A year later, at the awards ceremony for the Paris International Jewelry Design Awards, the highest pinnacle of the global jewelry design world, a stage countless designers spend their entire lives striving to reach. Under the spotlight, I walked elegantly onto the podium, wearing a black velvet gown. On the big screen, my winning piece, Rebirth, was being displayed. It was a design that perfectly fused shattered metal with incredibly pure diamonds, symbolizing the act of reshaping oneself amidst destruction and blooming the most beautiful flowers upon the ruins. The winner of this year's Gold Award is Ms. Lin Shu from China. Thunderous applause erupted from the audience as I accepted the heavy trophy, my gaze sweeping over the faces below, filled with envy or admiration. Among them were industry titans, fashion celebrities, and competitors who once mocked me but now had no choice but to look up to me. When delivering my acceptance speech, I didn't thank some ethereal muse. This collection is dedicated to every woman who has struggled in the abyss yet still chose to rise. My voice was firm and powerful. If you are currently in the darkness, please believe that it is merely the prelude to the dawn. As long as you do not let go of the pen in your hand, you can draw your own light. The applause was long and continuous. After the award ceremony ended, I gave an interview backstage. A reporter suddenly asked, Ms. Lin, I heard that your ex-husband, Mr. Zhao Heng, had his sentence extended last week due to poor behavior in prison, and he has repeatedly requested to see you. Do you have anything you'd like to say to him? The surroundings went quiet instantly, and everyone was waiting to see my reaction. I smiled slightly and gently turned the trophy in my hand. Who is Zhao Heng? I asked back, my tone as indifferent as if I were asking for the name of a random passerby. The reporter was stunned for a moment, then smiled, understanding perfectly. That's right. To me now, Zhao Heng is nothing more than a speck of dust in my past life. Since I've already brushed it off, why bother caring where a speck of dust ends up? Walking out of the fashion show, the Parisian night sky was brilliant with stars. Sun Yao was waiting for me in the car at the entrance, playing our favorite song. Designer Lin, the celebration dinner is booked. Tonight we drink until we drop. He rolled down the window and waved at me. I walked over quickly, sat in the passenger seat, and took a deep breath of the free and crisp air. The car started and merged into the flowing river of lights. In the rearview mirror, the walled city that once trapped me had long since vanished. Ahead lay an infinitely vast wilderness, a brand new life that belonged entirely to Lin Shu.